We've all experienced it. That elevator ride where every second stretches like a full minute, or the coffee break where the silence feels so heavy it almost makes you want to vanish. Those moments when you're standing there, unsure of what to say, can feel almost paralyzing. Your mind races, your heart beats a little faster, and suddenly even the simplest words seem impossible to find. But what if those moments weren't something to dread? What if they could actually become opportunities, little doorways into genuine connection? Imagine turning that awkward pause into laughter, or that silent coffee break into the start of a friendship. In this video, I'll guide you through the small shifts that can transform ordinary small talk into conversations that actually matter. You'll see how a few simple techniques can boost your confidence, make you feel more at ease, and turn social situations into experiences you genuinely enjoy instead of moments you just want to escape. Let's start by asking an important question. Why does small talk actually matter? On the surface, it might seem like nothing more than casual pleasantries, just words exchanged to fill the silence. But in reality, small talk is much more powerful than that. It's the bridge that helps us connect with others on a human level. Think about it. Every friendship, every close bond, even many professional opportunities often begin with something as simple as, "How's your day going?" That one question can open the door to a deeper exchange, and that exchange can lead to trust, understanding, and connection that lasts well beyond that moment. Of course, it's also true that many of us carry fears when it comes to small talk. Maybe you felt that sudden rush of panic when silence lingers too long, or you've worried that you'll run out of things to say and embarrass yourself. Maybe you've even felt stressed about accidentally saying the wrong thing, replaying it in your head long after the moment has passed. These feelings are more common than you might think. You are not the only one who has felt them. In fact, almost everyone you meet has been in that exact situation, unsure of how to keep the flow alive. Knowing that should bring you comfort, because it means you're never alone in that struggle. The real shift happens when you reframe how you see small talk. Instead of thinking of it as a chore, something you just have to survive until it's over, start seeing it as a hidden opportunity. Every quick chat at the bus stop with a stranger who's waiting just like you, every little exchange at the coffee machine with a colleague, every brief smile or greeting inside an elevator, these are all tiny chances to practice connection. They are small, but they can be meaningful. When you look at it this way, small talk stops being about filling the silence and becomes about creating little sparks of humanity in your day. Over time, those sparks build into moments that make life not only richer, but also more enjoyable and far less lonely. Starting a conversation is often the hardest part. You might feel the weight of that first moment, unsure of what to say that doesn't feel too forced or too empty. Most of us fall back on the safe classic, "How are you?" And while there's nothing wrong with that, the problem is that it usually ends the exchange rather than opening it up. You've probably noticed someone says, "Good, thanks," and then silence takes over again. What you really need is a way to invite the other person to share more, to feel like you actually care about their answer. That's where curiosity-driven questions come in. Questions that go beyond surface level, ones that show you're genuinely interested in the other person's world. Instead of a quick "How are you?" you could ask, "What's been keeping you busy this week?" Or, "Have you found any exciting books, shows, or podcasts lately?" These kinds of questions naturally encourage longer answers, and more importantly, they spark genuine interaction. They tell the other person, "I'm not just asking out of habit, I actually want to know." Another great way to begin is to simply use what's right in front of you. Everyday surroundings can be gold mines for conversation starters if you're paying attention. If you're stuck in a long line, you might laugh and say, "This line is moving slower than I expected. Feels like we could finish a whole novel before we get to the front." Suddenly, you've created a shared moment. If you're at a party, something as simple as, "So, how do you know the host?" not only makes sense in the context, but also opens the door to more stories. These little observations are light, natural, and easy to say, but they can transform silence into connection. And when in doubt, there's always a reliable guide you can lean on, the FORD method. It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. With these 4 areas in mind, you'll never run out of topics. You can ask about someone's family, about their work, about the things they enjoy doing in their free time, or even about their hopes and plans for the future. These questions don't just fill the air, they give you real insight into the person you're speaking with, and they make the conversation flow in a way that feels natural and alive. With this simple tool in your pocket, you'll always have something meaningful to say, no matter the situation. Once the door is open, the next challenge is keeping the conversation alive. And here's the truth. The secret isn't talking more, it's actually listening better. Active listening is one of the most underrated skills, yet it's the one that shows genuine interest and respect. Instead of just waiting for your turn to speak, try to really tune in to what the other person is saying. Notice not only their words, but also their tone, the pauses they make, and even the emotions hiding behind their sentences. These small details tell you so much more than the surface-level answer ever could. And when you show them you're paying attention, through a nod, a thoughtful, "I see," maintaining eye contact, or even repeating back a key phrase they just said, you're sending a clear signal. I hear you, and I care about what you're sharing. One of the best ways to keep the dialogue flowing is by asking thoughtful follow-up questions. Think about it. If someone tells you, "I just started a new job," you could just say, "That's nice," and leave it there. But the conversation would likely fizzle out. Instead, you could ask, "What's the most exciting part about it so far?" Or, "How does it feel compared to your last job?" These kinds of questions dig beneath the surface, and they show that you want to know more than just the headline. You want the story behind it. People love to share their experiences when they feel someone is genuinely curious. Another powerful tool you can use is the yes and principle. Borrowed from improvisation, but incredibly effective in everyday conversations. Here's how it works. Instead of shutting things down with short, final responses, you build on what's been said. Imagine someone tells you they went hiking last weekend. You could say, "Yes, and that reminds me of a trail I've been wanting to try myself." Suddenly, you've created a bridge between their story and yours, and the energy keeps moving. This principle keeps conversations alive because it transforms small, simple exchanges into something richer, something that feels like a real back and forth rather than just 2 people trading words. Over time, using techniques like this will make your conversations feel more engaging, more memorable, and definitely more enjoyable. Even with the best intentions, conversations don't always flow smoothly. Awkward silences happen to everyone, and the key is not to panic when they appear. Those quiet gaps aren't the end of the world. In fact, they can be opportunities if you handle them well. You might gently acknowledge the pause with a lighthearted comment like, I guess we both needed a moment to breathe, which often breaks the tension and brings out a smile. Or, if it feels right, you can smoothly pivot by introducing a new topic connected to what was just said. For example, if the last topic was about a weekend trip, you could follow with, "Speaking of weekends, do you usually like to travel or stay close to home?" And sometimes it's perfectly fine to simply embrace the pause. A moment of quiet doesn't have to mean failure. It can give both people a chance to gather their thoughts, reflect, and come back to the conversation with something fresh. Another challenge comes with avoiding topics that might make others feel uncomfortable. Things like politics, money, or very personal questions can quickly derail a conversation that was going well. The secret here is to be aware of social cues. If the other person hesitates, changes the subject, or looks uneasy, take it as your sign to steer things in a lighter direction. You could gently shift the focus by saying something like, "Anyway, I was curious. Have you tried that new cafe down the street?" Respecting boundaries shows sensitivity, and it keeps the atmosphere positive and relaxed. Conversations should feel like safe spaces, not interrogations. And when people feel comfortable, they're far more likely to open up naturally. And then there's the moment everyone wonders about: how to end a conversation gracefully. You don't want to cut things off so abruptly that it feels cold, but you also don't want to linger endlessly and make things drag. The art is in wrapping up politely while leaving the door open for the future. A simple phrase like, "It was really nice talking with you, I should let you get back to your day," is both respectful and warm. Or you could say, "I've really enjoyed this chat, let's catch up again soon," which makes the other person feel valued and keeps the connection alive. Ending on a positive note ensures that even if the conversation had awkward moments, it closes with confidence rather than stress. Over time, these little skills turn sticky situations into opportunities for connection, leaving you feeling more at ease and more in control in every interaction. The final piece of mastering small talk is confidence. And the truth is that confidence isn't something you're simply born with. It's something you build. And the way you build it is through practice. The more you weave small talk into your everyday routines, the more natural it becomes. Start with little steps. Greet your neighbor with a warm comment about the weather, share a quick word with the cashier at the grocery store, or strike up a short conversation while waiting in line for your morning coffee. These moments may seem small or even unimportant in the moment, but together they create a powerful rhythm of connection that slowly turns into second nature. Along the way, it's so important to remember that perfection is never the goal. No one delivers flawless conversations every single time, and you don't need to either. It's completely normal to stumble on your words, to have a sentence come out awkwardly, or even to draw a blank now and then. What matters is that you keep showing up, you keep trying, and you don't let those tiny stumbles hold you back. Every effort is progress, and every attempt adds another layer of courage. And here's something to remind yourself of. People aren't judging you nearly as much as you might think. In fact, most people will genuinely appreciate the effort you make to connect, because it makes their world feel a little friendlier too. And here's the best part. Small talk isn't just about making social moments less stressful. It creates a ripple effect that reaches further than you realize. Each confident exchange opens a door, sometimes to a new friendship, sometimes to an unexpected opportunity, and sometimes simply to a moment that brightens someone's day. Think about it. What starts as a casual comment about the rain could lead to discovering a shared hobby, or even a professional lead that changes the direction of your career. What begins as a lighthearted observation at the coffee machine might blossom into a lasting connection. When you embrace small talk with confidence, you're not just filling silence. You're creating bridges that connect you to others, that enrich your daily life, and that remind you how powerful simple human interaction can be.